So it's about 9 o'clock, half 9. As you can see, I put glasses on, I'm pretty tired. Me and Luke have just played our first game of Infinity in maybe 3-4 months. We played Firefight. I used my Toha against his US Ariadna, and I got the shit kicked out of me. This is part of my tournament prep, I suppose, for the Harlequins tournament in Preston, but also the Northern Open 9, and oh god damn. I suppose I took a reasonably generic list because it was a bit rushed, but god, I just got the shit kicked out of me. I lost so many pieces on turn 1, and I just didn't do anything back. Like, I took like 3-4 things out in the entire time, and I lost nearly every model apart from a Camille with a Spitfire, so it was just not good at all. I took way too many specialists to give up, and I suppose I lost the middle fire lane very early, so I couldn't get any of the panoplies. Definitely did a huge rethink about playing that mission, about what I'm going to take, because whatever I did tonight was just god awful. It was pretty hard as well playing after so long as well. I'd forgotten a great deal of the rules, so hopefully going to get some more games in on Tuesday. I think Toha definitely the way forward for this set of tournaments, but I need to rethink these lists and get some more games in for sure. Okay, so it is Wednesday the 19th and I've just got back from work, so apologies for looking pretty tired and rough. I suppose I was going to vlog last night, but I really just couldn't bear it, to be honest. Me and Luke played our second game in the last 3 months of Infinity, and we practiced Deadly Dance for the upcoming Northern Open tournament, as well as the Preston Harlequins tournament. And I got absolutely shat on. I suppose as I was cleaning yesterday, I was listening to the podcast Mayacast, and it was, I think, episode 128, and they had a guest called Zach on to talk about Bakunin. And one of the questions that came in at the end is this guy who said about how he was on a bit of a losing streak and he wasn't doing very good. And I suppose I really empathise with that, because one of the things that Zach said, despite being a kind of ass in terms of how he was all the show, he spoke about how Infinity can be quite a disheartening game. And I feel like being out of practice, I feel kind of overwhelmed and a bit stressed. And I suppose yesterday was the first game I think I've ever surrendered. Like, I've played badly, I've lost, and yesterday it just got to a point where I wasn't having fun and I just didn't know what to do, and it was completely my fault for several reasons. So one, the table. I set up the table in a way, it looked pretty, but I suppose after playing it, me and Luke kind of realised like it's way too open. So I'm going to show you a little bit now so you can kind of see what I mean by this. It looks nice, the train in the middle is awesome, however, I don't know if you guys can see the problem already, and it's that building. So that building was, a bit of a mistake in the sense that we tried to sort it out by putting some of these down so that you wouldn't be completely dominant, however didn't think about the second floor. So kind of what that did was meant that everything was on absolute lockdown, and especially on a game where you have to move and get across quadrants, it was just awful. So that was my first mistake. It left it way too open. Luke chose deployment and he had a 5-man team, including like snipers and plasma cannons, missile launchers, pulse carbines, whatever. It was ridiculous. And it really shut down the game. So I felt like I couldn't move out, and that was my bad. Another thing I did, which was completely dumb, is that for this game, it's pretty beneficial to take a tag. Now, being Toha, we've got access to the Gorgos. which has got some pretty significant buffs since the last time I played it, which I'm really happy about. However, being an absolute tool that I am, I set it up in the absolute open, so I didn't leave it till last, which was pretty stupid, and instead I left it right up in the open. So I put the tag, I put it kind of in here. So what you've then got is pretty much an open fire line to the sniper team. So that was pretty dumb. So that was really difficult. It was kind of crappy from the offset, and that was mainly my fault. And I suppose another thing that I'm finding really difficult at the moment, I suppose, especially being out of practice, I don't get out much to game, and whilst Luke has got a significant amount of armies, I'm not playing them, I'm not practicing them that much. So last night I faced Onyx for the first time, and it's not Salamander, the tag, can't remember the name, but oh my god, it was brutal. And you know, Luke used it really, really well. He let it climb up walls, he was smart about moving in and moving out, and I suppose I'm missing a lot of tricks in the sense that I don't know what stuff does, and I'm also not thinking enough about kind of complex moves, kind of like moving in and out, kind of really using all the skill that Infinity requires you to. So last night was pretty disheartening. Me and Luke spent an hour afterwards sort of debriefing, going over some of my mistakes, and I suppose that was really useful. But I'm kind of thinking about now, like, how the bloody hell do I prepare for these tournaments? So I'm panicking a little bit, won't lie. So I think I need to address three main things. I need more games in. I need to spend some time kind of looking at what armies do. I need to sort of maybe watch some more bat reps, maybe make some lists upon army builder, and just kind of like have a look at what other things are, and maybe sort of link them to having a look at what the models are. And then the other thing is I need to not tilt. And some of you might be familiar, if you play video games, what the tilt is. And the tilt is where something goes wrong, and all of a sudden your whole battle plan goes out. You're just there kind of like raging and just tilting and just not knowing what to do. And I suffer a lot from analysis paralysis, because I don't really know what's going on half the time. So I think I need to keep a bit more of a calm head about me, and sort of not necessarily relying on one battle plan, but kind of, I don't know, thinking more about options, maybe planning more. But I suppose I'm also trying to play quick, so you're kind of playing those two off against each other. So that's kind of difficult. I'm not sure if I'm going to switch up my list. We're playing Deadly Dance again next week because it's such a different scenario, whereas I'm pretty confident I think I know what I'm doing with supplies. Maybe that might change. So I need to get a coast wheel painted up. If I can get hold of a Gorgos pilot in time, I don't think it's out, but if I can, that'd be amazing. And everything kind of needs the base marking redone because it's all chipped and looking crap. So I've got some stuff to work on, and hopefully make a bit more progress next week. So this week it's all about kind of studying, I suppose, which is a bit weird. One of the things I'm really worried about studying is taking it to a place where I'm not having fun anymore. I don't want this to become too much like homework. I don't have many hours in the evening to chill as it is, sort of 2 before bed. So, you know, I'm really conscious about that. So I'm going to see how that goes and see if there's any way I can get around it, and I'll get back to you guys if I find something useful. So hope your game's going well. Might do another update later, might not. Bye.